let me summarize the essentials of the controversy and then we'll get to Ethan's critique. Essentially, EVS was a big supporter of Eric July in the past, but he was becoming more and more critical of how July was managing his business, the artwork, and things he was pumping out from his iSum universe. And he offered some hilarious but very constructive criticisms of his comics, and we're just going to look briefly at one of the criticisms.
What am I supposed to do with this? I don't want to read another one. And I mean, there's a lot of just high aspirations here, but I want you to understand that, even that, even the people who you denigrate, who work at Marvel and DC, who make SJW comic books, they're better than you. They know how to tell stories, and they're creating character. Listen, they're writing stories that are still more fun to read and hang together better than these ones do.
For Ethan, that the quality of the ESOM universe is very, very low. The artwork is not that good. He does give credit for Alpha Core to have a good, interesting plot, but the plot twist did not satisfy him. So the stories are, at best, very mediocre, and they're overcharging. They're doing they're doing some fraudulent practices. It's very much a big mess. But for me, it's actually a little bit more simple with Eric July, which is he's not saying this, but basically he's just doing the Rob Liefeld formula. If you remember comics from back in the day in the 1990s, Rob Liefeld also had this very interesting kind of conservative Christian message, but he wrapped it up with these women with really big breasts. It was really quite silly beyond a certain point, but yeah, he just had these endless books of women and all these weird poses, big ass, big breasts. I only read a few of them. They weren't obviously that good. It was fine. He was serving his audience. And that's what Eric is doing. I think the problem is Eric is putting himself out as this conservative savior of society. So now he's hooking up with the Soska sisters and pushing out Yara, which essentially is just basically just a hot looking girl with superpowers. And I have no doubt we're just going to look at Yara with a lot of sexy poses and not much else. And that's fine. That's that audience. But then with Esam, the main character, Eric is trying to appeal to the quote Christian conservatives. Like Esam literally has a cross on his costume. So Ethan doesn't like the artwork or the message, but I'm fine with it having a message, even being a mixed message. I just have an issue with Eric making this very apocalyptic, I'm the pastor saving everyone kind of routine. It's like, no, he's just a business guy. He's selling his product to different audiences, different markets. I agree the comics need to improve greatly for what he's charging, but insofar as he's marketing to different audiences, I really don't have an issue with that. Ethan is much more hardcore anti SJW. He really is fearful of the SJWs. I'm more like, well, case by case basis. Sometimes the woke stuff is nonsense, should be called out. I have no problem putting out videos attacking or criticizing the woke, but sometimes the woke will fit the character. Sometimes it will fit the Spider Man universe, but many times it will not. Like with Madam Web, looks like it's going to be really woke and really stupid, but hey, maybe some other Spider Man movies or comics, the woke thing will work. Maybe, maybe not. I'm more open minded. And I think Eric would have been better off just to say, I'm being open minded, I'm just serving different audiences. But instead, he tried to become this new Glenn Beck, new Ronald Reagan, but for the black people. And it's just getting him in all kinds of troubles. But really, he's just the new Rob Liefeld, but he's just more pretentious.